Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 34 of Podcast with Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast with Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and Soundcloud, now topic by topic, day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Fridays. Catch updates about the podcast, or for other news, give us a follow on your social media platform of choice, listed in the description below. You know the spiel by now. I'm your host, GM, and overseer of Podcast Five Rings, Obsidian, joined tonight by the Dark Fortune Duelist Meta.
What if I don't know though, Obs? Can you then repeat it for me, please, so that I am.
Well, you're just gonna have to pay attention until the end of the podcast, and then I'll list them off for you.
Damn it!
And the resident wildcard Mal.
Yo,
Tetsuo's not here tonight. He had something come up, so he'll hopefully be back next week, so we can get a few episodes in before Christmas. How's everyone's Thanksgiving?
Tasty.
it was fine.
Yeah, I ate a whole lot of food.
I ate
much.
till I nearly felt sick. Kind of felt a little sick.
Yeah, I basically did the same. I ate like a whole pie.
Oh my god, I didn't.
I did not eat that much.
Yeah, I ate a whole chocolate pie in the span of
I
like
had
24 hours.
I had like 2 8 slices of pie. It was the second one was the real big mistake.
Yeah.
But my mom had 2 pies, and I had to try both.
It's never a mistake, Mal. It's only a mistake if you tell yourself it's a mistake. Yeah, we did that. Then I went over to one of my buddies' houses and we played board games. And one of my other friends brought like cheesecake and stuff. I was like, oh my god, dude, I'm gonna explode. But of course I ate it because I'm me.
Oh my. We had so many different courses throughout the night. I mean, we had turkey, stuffing, sweet potatoes. You know, the norm for certain things. But I mean, there was so much. I don't know if I could possibly eat 2 full plates, but by God, I tried.
Yeah, I don't remember how much turkey I ate, so it was kind of ridiculous.
Are you a white meat guy, a dark meat guy,
like
or
both.
you don't care?
White.
I like me some dark meat.
Yeah, I like both. I like the turkey leg.
Turkey
Flip
legs.
that turkey leg off.
I mean, legs are always good though.
Yeah, I know. It's always like the stuff on the bone that you eat on any meat. I like the leg the best.
I think just because legs tend to I guess for some reason, I don't know why, and I could be wrong. I'm sure somebody will let me know if I am. But I think the bone, like the leg meat, just always cooks up and it's just moister. Like it's always got way juicier meat to it.
It's always easier to eat too, because you're not like maneuvering around a bone, like through bones, like on the wing or the thigh and stuff. It's just like, nope, you just eat it and it comes right off the bone. There you go. You're good. Good to go. I know we played a whole lot of For Honor last night.
Yes, we did.
This isn't one of our topics. It might have been if Tets was here, but
and we killed a lot of bots.
Yeah, we killed a lot of bots after getting raffle stopped by some
anyway.
Prestige 100 guys or whatever.
We're all 5 at max.
Yeah.
It's the same game. It's still fun.
But they have released information at one point in the past. I guess their team is kind of small, or they have only really one solid guy on each core area, because they made mention in one interview that the guy who was supposed to be working on a certain portion of the game, which I believe had something to do with connectivity or latency, had actually been on leave for a while. And so the progress of that project effectively came to a halt until he just recently came back. And it was the first thing they threw him back onto.
Well, it's like we were talking about after games go gold.
Yeah.
The devs, I mean, not the devs, but the studios start to care less, obviously.
Yeah. I know that someone tweeted out they were playing on test dedicated servers weeks ago, so it's still coming along, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully we get those soon.
And then there's the whole rework for classes, which includes new animations. They're apparently going to be touching on a lot of the vanilla classes, which are just the ones that came out before the DLC releases.
Because they probably need it the most.
Yeah, the biggest problem I think, at least from what the community's seeing, because I really tried to suck in as much information as I could from last night. But like what they're stating is essentially that a lot of the older classes it's not so much that they're bad, it's just that they don't have options, which is what a lot of the new DLC classes do have. They have a lot of options, ways to approach a problem, whereas classes like Kensei, Orochi, Raider, and whatnot, they tend to have very few ways to actually approach an issue. And that in and of itself means that they are very easy to beat because once you kind of lock them out of one way, you kind of know that they only have like this way or that way to approach you.
Yeah.
So, but apparently there's a big word work in the process, so it's something to look forward to.
For Honor 2. Samurai Boogaloo. All right, Beta, let's go ahead right into topics. What do you got for us tonight?
Well, in the vein of the fact of talking about DLC and reworks of future stuff, let's go harken back to the olden days. Actually, I want to get your guys' opinions on this. Some games tend to release out DLC in different ways. Sometimes like release new maps, and it's just free. It's just a part of the game. It just comes out, they're free. Some other games will release whole bits of content that are free and rely potentially on money gained through other way. Sometimes DLC is always paid for, regardless of what it might be. Obviously, there's different, reasons for why they do what they do. Some games can get away with it because they have the backing of a publisher who's willing to let them take a loss in some regard just to continue to push out content, et cetera, et cetera. But is there, on your ideas, like what kind of format do you really like? What do you think is acceptable to pay for? What do you think is probably not something acceptable to pay for? What is the DLC style that you would like beyond everything's free?
Why don't you go first, Mel?
It probably depends on the game.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like PvP games, everything should be free, or at least like maps, especially and stuff like that, so you don't split your player base.
Tell that to Capcom.
I really liked. I really liked Dark Souls. They didn't have a lot, like or. 1, 2, and Bloodborne only had 1, I think, each. Or, well, I'm trying to remember 2. I didn't... 2's the one I remember least of. But either way, they had, like... it was... You had to pay, like, $20 or whatever, but it was, like, one large expansion that always felt worth it to me.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the Bloodborne expansion. I was like, this thing is a decent amount of content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want a lot out of my DLC, really.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Like, I don't mind paying for season passes if I feel like I'm getting a lot out of them. Like, I just bought the Final Fantasy 15 one. We're gonna play that eventually, but like it at least it was 25, and you get the comrades. You get all 3 of the character episodes for your party members. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good deal for what you're getting.
Yeah, Neo gave you 3
new stages.
3, yeah.
3
new weapons
stuff like that,
and stuff.
I think. I want a lot, basically. I don't want like little $5 DLCs that give me an hour.
Yeah, I'm kind of like not so much on the very like microtransaction. I mean,
yeah,
it's
no,
not a
I agree with that.
microtransaction, but
Actually,
like buy $1 for a new skin on your RPG character, or like little costumes, or
Persona.
Yeah, stuff like that. I'm more of like the big like, give me more like content, story, gameplay kind of stuff.
Hot damn. I agree with you actually on a lot of that. I don't like it when they release like the kind of small little things like buy this, buy that, and I absolutely agree. Never do anything that would split the player base. If I were willing to spend money on something, I think it really comes down to something akin to Neo, where it does give you a fair chunk. Like that is a full-on pack of like new levels, new enemies, new gear, new items, new weapons, etc. It's a big chunk, and it's not something artificial where it's like, well, it's new weapons, but the game doesn't really change in any regard.
The weapons are free.
Well, I meant, what do you mean? Well, I mean, just like as a part of the package is what I'm talking about.
They came out at the same time, but you didn't have to buy the DLC to get the weapons.
Well, I'm not talking about Neo in general. I'm just
I'm just saying.
I'm talking. Well, yeah, in Neo, it's a different case. But I'm just saying, like, if you were to say that's what it would be acceptable to me, is something that I'd be willing to like throw $20 or $30 potentially. 30 is pretty high, but I'd be willing to put the money down on something if it's big enough to be worthwhile putting the money down.
Like For Honor's DLC or season pass did not seem worth it to me.
I have to agree.
It's $40, and you get you get all the new heroes, but I mean I think their steel economy is out of whack.
Yeah, which is another issue for them, and they still have the ability to buy steel and whatnot, which goes back to that's how you're gonna be able to pay for unlocking.
Yeah, it's the best deal if you want the heroes because individually they're 15,000 steel.
Yeah, they're like
if you want
them $10
quickly,
or something basically.
But it didn't feel like enough to me.
I agree with you. It doesn't help that the game also suffers in other areas, which makes it harder to really want to invest into it too.
Yeah,
which I think kind of goes into another part of like gaming is like even if the DLC is worthwhile, if the game at its core has a lot of issues, that detracts.
Yeah, I think fighting games in general suffer from that because it almost look at the way For Honor does their stuff, other than like purchasing the steel and all that, as almost like a fighting game with their character stuff. Because I think Smash Bros. You paid around like $8 or something for a new character, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I got all the characters in that, and I was like, man, this is kind of like isn't worth it. Yeah, it was something around there. It was somewhere between $5 to $8.
Well, it wasn't just for the character itself.
You got like a stage 2 or something,
stage
and like their music, but still.
Better,
I think that's just the problem with fighting games in general. A big part of like what brings a person to a fighting game is either the mechanics of the game itself or a character that they really like in the
characters.
game.
Yeah.
It really is just that. I don't think I've ever seen somebody pick up a fighting game and go like, man, I just really love the story and that's why I love playing this game so much.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's impossible, just it's not the norm. And you have to have your focus. Plus, that means like you can watch just I think any general streamer. If I watch a guy by the name of Maximilian Dude a lot, and one of the biggest things I'll note for him is that if a character doesn't really catch his attention for a game, or it doesn't really bring his like attention to the game, he might play the character just to try it out a bit, but he'll stop playing that fighting game and he'll switch to something else. And that's
he
just
plays so many fighting games already.
Well, yeah, I mean, he already does so many, yeah. But I mean, I think that's just a trend for a lot of people. Unless you start getting really hardcore into a fighting game, at which point the characters really aren't going to be a draw. It's the fact that that's the fighting game that you want to focus on and try to be really good at. In which case, DLC is not going to be really an issue or a thing for you. So,
yeah, and that's the whole, which we talked about like 10 episodes or so ago, the whole Capcom problem with Marvel and stuff right now. They're charging so much money for these just for like it's like 3 or 4 characters at a time, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of ridiculous. So yeah, it depends game to game. Like I'm perfectly happy when people put out free content and stuff, or stuff you can unlock, unlockables and all that good stuff. But I mean, I don't mind paying season passes. It just depends on the value. Like I'm gonna look into it before I buy a season pass, and I rarely ever buy them. Like if I ever go to GameStop and buy a game, and they're always like, "Do you want the season pass?" I don't think I've ever bought one from them.
I think I'm actually in the same boat as you, Obs. I don't really buy season passes. In fact, I can't remember the last time I've bought a season pass. I've had friends buy them for me as gifts, but
I think I bought Neo.
Oh yeah, Neo would be the season pass I did buy. You're absolutely right.
And Dark Souls 3, and that's about it.
Yeah, the only reason I really got the F-15 ones because I wanted to play Comrades.
Oh yeah, I bought
and it's
that
only
too,
$5 more
after the Comrades beta. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it all depends on the price. It all depends on the game. I like very story-driven games, so anytime like a game gives me more story, I'll buy it. Like another one I don't ever buy is like Fire Emblem DLC.
I was just gonna say that, like the whole Shadows of Valencia, where the DLC or the season pass was more than the base game.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
For and it's just like it's like a few maps. It's like you get like 3 maps for like $12. I'm like, this is not worth it.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like the stuff I never will with. But if it's ever like more characters in a fighting game and it's a fighting game I like, or like
Did you get Breath of Wild season pass?
I didn't get the season pass, but I did buy the first DLC, and it was a
you
lot
didn't
of
get
fun. You didn't really get that much content, but it was hard enough that it took a while to beat it, because it was the I can't remember the name of it, but it was like this challenge thing where you lost all your equipment, and you just had to work your way through like 50 like different encounters, and each were in this giant like huge room. You just had to play your way through it. It was like the Trials of the Master Sword, I think is what it was called. And you would every time you would complete one, you would like upgrade the Master Sword basically. I think you can eventually get it to where it doesn't run out of energy or whatever. So it was it's very hard. It was very satisfying to finally beat it. It took me like 20 hours to beat it probably because it was that difficult. If you died, you had to start all the way freaking over again, and you couldn't take items or anything or any food or anything like that. You'd have to like scavenge for food within the little stages. It's almost like the little island. I don't know if you guys ever got there in the game.
Yeah, that one island.
That one island where it's like there's a shrine here that you can unlock, but you can't use any equipment. So get these sticks.
Yeah, I actually really like that island.
Yeah, so that's
cool.
the whole DLC was basically like that. So it was really nice, and they're also it's supposed to be coming out around the holiday season, but I haven't heard anything in a while.
I think it's this month. You get the Champions.
Yeah, the Champions DLC, and I'll be getting that too. So because I really liked the first one. So yeah, I'm not against DLC. What I'm really against is the day one DLC or on disc DLC.
On disc really is the problem.
Yeah, like day one isn't as bad. It just depends on what they're doing.
Well, I don't want to go down that road because I mean we've talked about it 100 times, but it is cool to kind of like get your guys' thoughts on like what is an acceptable way of DLC or what is worth paying for, what you feel is at least
Yeah, I'm not one for cosmetics or anything. I don't think that I've ever really bought the cosmetics.
I think I've done that one time. It was for Tales of Graces, I think. I think I got like one of the old costumes. Because it was like $1.
Yeah,
I was like,
Tales
whatever.
and then the Shin Megami games are kind of bad about like costumes and like in-game items to buy.
Yeah, it's all appealing to people's nostalgia. Basically.
Never bought any of them.
Yeah. If you just want to see the little quotes they say, you can just go on YouTube and stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah, the skits that come with them.
Yeah. You used to, in those games... Did they do that in Berseria? You had the cameo battles. There used to always be like an arena, and you would go and fight characters from the old games.
No, but the side quests had at least Jude and what's her face? Maxwell from Zer or whatever. One of the side quests had those guys.
Yeah. So
Jude had turned into a penguin type creature.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, that was the I never did those, but I think I saw them on YouTube. That was the like cameo stuff. Yeah. So get that Sam Riegel. That's Jude. But anyways,